Before we start, I just want to say that I'm going to be using After Effects and VideoStar to show examples, but it might be different depending on what apps you use in order to apply these effects. So the most basic thing to add to any edit, no matter what program, is any sort of blur. Now, After Effects is different and it has motion tile, blur mode curves, it has so many things that allows it to be blurry. This is what makes transitions smooth, and it will make your edits look so much better. Now in VideoStar, it does a little different. They use tracking blur, stuff like that. There are different ways you can do it, but just learning how to make it blurry, because there's a huge difference. And I'm going to show you what some clips look like without blur versus what they look like with the blur on. My second tip is to always keep your transitions moving. So for After Effects, that means not putting your keyframes directly where you would start the transition. The graphs that you add is what makes it smooth and go together. So you don't want to put the keyframes or add that element where you want it to go. You want to, kind of space it out, because it keeps it flowing, it keeps it moving, and it keeps it all around smooth. My next advice is knowing how to put overlays and adding discrete effects in the back go a long way. So that doesn't necessarily mean overlays, but just effects in the back, and knowing how to mask, I think, will make your edits so much better, because masking is an important tool that not only allows you to add effects, but can do transitions also. So just knowing how to mask, it's not too hard, just having that under your belt and just kind of knowing the logistics behind it, because having these small details really put an edit together, and it really shows the effort that you put into it. The next piece of advice I have for you is to add what's called a wiggle effect. Now, if you don't know what this is, there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube, and I'm sure it's on VideoStar, but I'm not 100% sure. But on After Effects, it's kind of this back and forth motion that this clip does. It might seem like a little issue and like, why do you need to do this? But in the long run, it's kind of going back to that whole edit flowing motion, and you want it to keep moving. And so these are the settings. You can just copy them right here if you've never done it before, but there are plenty of tutorials out there. But I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. But it's basically just a moving back and forth that just makes the clips kind of fast and always on the go. The next thing I suggest doing is making your clips slow. Now, every editing program kind of has a different way of doing it. Like, it's built in some you have to go in other apps to do it, but After Effects, it's built in, and so this is what I'm doing right now, is making these clips slow. I don't have Twixtor or anything like that, but in VideoStar, there's an app that I used called Slow Pro that applies to other things that I used and actually paid for, which is an app I recommend to do if you want your clips to be slow. But when your clips are slow, it kind of, I said this in a video before, it makes transitions more obvious, and you get to see the effects, you get to see all the masking that you put on there when it's slow. I suggest, and it looks all around more clean. So I think that this will make your edits 100 times more better if you slow down your moving clips. So once you're done the edit, you kind of need something to polish it off, which coloring is the perfect feature for it. Now, VideoStar has colorings. I think that some other apps have colorings too, but you can kind of find other apps out there that can add its own. And what it does is it just kind of, brightens it, it makes it, it kind of sets the mood, which is another piece of advice. So adding coloring is one, but then also fitting the coloring to match kind of the tone of the edit. Like, you can kind of just make out, okay, so this coloring is kind of dark, and so is this edit, so that would work. Or this edit is so fun, so I'm going to do a cute kind of coloring. It's just all based on you, and it's totally an editor's preference. But I would recommend, making sure that coloring matches, because I feel like a good coloring also really makes the edit and makes it hit the way you want it to. So there's my quick tutorial on how to improve and glow up your edits. If you like this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!